In this video lesson, we will be finding the exact values or ratios for theta in quadrant 1 given the cosine of theta is equal to 1/9. First, we will draw an angle in standard position in quadrant 1 with theta as its angle. The cosine is the adjacent side to the hypotenuse, or x over r, as we'll learn a little later on. What we need to find is the opposite side, or y in this case. That will then in turn enable us to set up all of the other 5 trig ratios. If we take the square root of both sides of that equation, that will allow us to solve for the value of y using simplified radical form. Using the prime factorization of 80, we will then be able to find its prime factors. Here, the square root of 80 will simplify to 2 times 2 times the square root of 5, or 4 radical 5. We'll place that in our triangle, and we can now find the value or the values of the remaining functions. Sine is the opposite side to the hypotenuse, so now we're going to use that triangle and go ahead and set up all our ratios. 4 radical 5 over 9. If appropriate, we would reduce this fraction, but in this case we cannot reduce the fraction. 4 and 9 are non-reducible. The reciprocal function, its cosecant, is 9 over 4 radical 5. Here we will rationalize its denominator by multiplying by a radical 5 over 5. In this case, we have 9 radical 5 over 4 times the square root of 25, which is 5, so it's 20. 4 times 5 is 20. Again, you would look to see if we could reduce 9 and 20. The next trig ratio we will find is the secant using the given cosine of theta, which is 9 over 1, or just simply 9. Our tangent function is the opposite to the adjacent side, so that would be 4 radical 5 over 1, or just 4 radical 5. And the cotangent, the reciprocal function, is 1 over 4 radical 5. And again, rationalizing the denominator, we get radical 5 over 20.